is Wes O'Hara. Wes O'Hara has been a Toastmaster for 1 month. He joined Toastmasters in order to become a more effective communicator and come up with a development goal in a pitch. Today, Wes will be giving his first speech, the Icebreaker Toastmaster speech from the Competent Communicator Manual. The title of his 4 to 6 minute speech is Welcome to Wes. Please join me in welcoming Wes.
Hello, fellow Toastmasters, ladies and gentlemen. I have enjoyed the opportunity to get to know you over the past few meetings that I've attended. And now it's my turn to return the favor. So I'll begin with my humble beginnings. Started off in northern Minneapolis on a cold December day in 1972. Born to a single working mother, 20 years old, and a biological father who had no interest in being a real father. That actually turned out to be maybe one of the greatest blessings in life, as 4 years later, my mom met this quirky engineer. It's a little redundant, I understand that. And he could speak like Donald Duck, he could kick a ball into the sky, and he drove this cool car, which I later found out was a hunk of junk, painted with stripes to make it look cool. However, he won the hearts of me and my mom, and therefore she decided to hitch our wagon to him. And this wagon went from Minnesota out to California, where he did a lot of his work. For some reason, I had in my head, and I think it was planted there, that I would be living next to Disneyland. And as I'm getting dressed in the morning, I'll be looking out my window, and the seven dwarves will be marching and singing and whistling. And I'd just be waving at them as they stroll into Disneyland. And I don't know if you've ever lived in Signal Hill, but that's probably never happened in the history of that city. But I did get over it. And within a year, we moved up to Palos Verdes in what I felt was a mansion, because I never lived in anything more than 2 bedrooms at that point. I didn't realize the plan going on behind the scenes there. Within a couple of years, I had a brother, and then the next year a sister, and the next year another brother, and a couple of years later a foster sister. I'm like, I know where this is going. I have to start developing an escape plan, because this large house is becoming pretty cramped. So just after I turned 13, I decided that I would apply for a job as a paperboy. The reason for that stems back from my youthful days in Minnesota. I had an uncle who had a route, and he had this cash box. And when you open it up, you could see all this green and a stack of coins. I'm like, if I ever get the opportunity, I'm going to get in on this. So what do you know? Probably about 9 years later, the opportunity comes. Put in my application, I get a call, and they say, okay, we have a route for you. It's only a few blocks away. So I'm like, that sounds great. There's a guy who showed me the route, all the ins and outs of this apartment complex, the shortcuts, secret passages, all that good stuff. So the next day, it's my turn to do it by myself. So I show up with my papers on my back. It's a little bit cold and drizzly and foggy, and it just looks like a maze to me, and I'm just wandering around for about 3 hours and feel like crying at the end of it. Maybe this isn't the opportunity that I thought it was. I'll give it another shot. Did it the next day. It wasn't quite as bad. Next day, a little better. So for the next 15 years, this is what I did on a pretty regular basis. Very few vacations, because once I got a car, I got more routes and more routes. So I went from 26 customers to 650, and nobody could really fill in for me at that point. So I didn't have a lot of fun, but I got a lot of discipline, and I got some cash too. You'd be surprised how much you can rack up delivering that many newspapers. So that paid for my car, paid for school. I went to Long Beach State, not USC, so that helped. And also allowed me to buy my first place. That's when I started to finally feel like a grown-up. And I'll let you on a little secret. Maybe some of you know this. If you live with 9 people, ladies aren't quite as interested in you. You have your own place. They're like, oh, okay, this guy might be somebody I want to hang out with. So things kind of picked up, and within a couple of years, I met who would eventually be my wife. I'll salsa dance at the Torrance Marriott, and it just kind of picked up from there. So been married for 7 years. I'll throw in that little personal note there. So all good things must come to an end. I did that route for 15 years. Then I went into internal audit, because I needed to get my experience to be a CPA. And there's some traveling involved with audit, so needed to give something up. Route had to go. Can't say I miss waking up when it's dark and going to bed when it's dark, only to wake up for my regular job after that. Don't know how I really managed that for as long as I did. So happy to be where I'm at in audit currently. And it's been a pretty good experience. Got to see a lot within the company. I do traveling and audit different sites within the company. And so I get to see different sectors and programs and all that stuff. So I'm actually having a pretty good time. But the 15-year itch is coming up, and it might be time to look into something new. So I've got the antenna out, see what maybe will come my way in the near future. Not that I'm not happy where I'm at currently, but can only let those good things last for so long. So we'll see what happens from here. You might be wondering, since I came from a large family, do I have a lot of kids? What's the deal there? To answer your question, we have a cat. And I would like some kids. Wife's getting a little older now. There's a lot going on here that I won't get into. But yeah, I do kind of miss not having children of my own. However, I do have a couple of nieces and a nephew, and they're a lot of fun. So I do enjoy uncling. So I get a little bit of that to make up for the little void there. Another little interesting thing is I have a wife that works on cruise ships 7 months out of the year while I'm doing my own traveling. So it kind of explains the children's situation and some of the complications there. And I could share a lot more with you folks, but I don't want to spill everything during my icebreaker meeting. So I look forward to sharing more as we go on in the future through my future speeches and listening to you fine people. I look forward to your feedback and helping me to become a better speaker. And the years, I don't know how long can you stay in this program, but I definitely could use whatever you're willing to provide. So appreciate you listening to me and look forward to getting to know you all better. Thank you very much.